It was in the budget, you know. It's funner to change than to have any one particular way anyway. Well, I want to salute all of you for having the strength, constitution, and fortitude to leave your homes and air conditioning to briefly expose yourself to Texas in all of its forms. Of course, I mean, there's no guarantees, of course. The odds of there being some venomous thing waiting outside your door in Texas are not zero. You know, it's a hotly contested economic zone, a desirable place. This is a song that I wrote about that. That's right. This song is entitled Snakes Around My Trailer, which I wrote because there were snakes around my trailer. What size? The little ones can be just as bad. I mean, sort of like parenting. We'll get back to that. There are snakes around my trailer. I found a scorpion in my bed. Snakes around my trailer. I found a scorpion in my bed. Oh, if Texas has its way, I could wake up dead. Black mold underneath the sheetrock and paper wasps in the eaves. You know, I try to keep up with the upkeep, but an honest man may be deceived. Oh, God help the child set upon by thieves. Now it's a jacked up day where I wake up and I'm already late. Open through the front door, wonder what to run for. Meet my fate. If Texas had its way, I'd be gone without a trace. 100 right behind me to take my place. Hot sun working in the red clay, and it cracks like a chain. Hell in August, Texas. Fools pray for rain. Oh, you dumb sons of bitches. Hurricane. And if it wasn't trying to kill you, it wouldn't be Texas. You ain't got the fight, you won't make it here. See that cowboy hat driving that Lexus, venom in that wicked grin from ear to ear. The fight, you won't make it here. See that cowboy hat driving that Lexus, venom in that wicked grin from ear to ear. Now it's a jacked up day where I wake up and I'm already late. Open through the front door, I wonder what to run for to meet my fate. If Texas had its way, I'd be gone without a trace. 100 right behind me to take my place. There are snakes around my trailer. I found a scorpion in my bed. If Texas has its way, there will be bloodshed. And if trouble makes a man, I'm a thoroughbred. Texas. Thank you very much. This is one of my favorite places to play. This is a great listening room. These rooms are hard to find. They're precious things, meaning that it's not a sports bar. You know, that as a performer, as a musician, as a songwriter, I appreciate not having to compete with pro ball all the time. I enjoy sports. I enjoy watching sports, but professionally, I've been competing with them my entire career, and I always lose. Yeah. If I just can land that Super Bowl gig, then finally there'll be a little justice in the world. I'd like to send this song out to all the guys in the audience. What if the girl is right and I don't see it, and she's right in front of my face? What if the girl is right and I don't seize it, and this is just a brush with grace? What if the girl is right? What if the girl is right? 'Cause I've been wrong. I've been wrong for so long. A self-righteous clown who doubles down when the moment's gone. And through it all, after I take my fall, well, there's one person standing at my curtain call. What if the girl is right and I don't see it, and she's right in front of my face? What if tonight's the night and I don't seize it, and this is just a brush with grace? What if the girl is right? What if the girl is right? Because this is not my first rodeo. It's not even my second rodeo. Now when I think about it, my life has been a succession of rodeos, just one rodeo after another. But at a certain point, you have to look ahead and realize there are fewer rodeos ahead than there are rodeos behind. And that increases the value of those rodeos. You know, it becomes inclement to try to squeeze, to draw every possible drop out of every possible rodeo. It's my pride keeps me dissatisfied. Now that's a story that I tell myself, but it's true that I lied. Oh, some celestial version, a super heroine, unlikely to condescend for me to put my needle in. just a brush with grace. What if the girl is right and I don't see it, and she's right in front of my face? What if tonight's the night and I don't seize it, and this is just a brush with grace, just a brush with grace, just a brush with grace. Thank you very much. I'd like to come out here right now as a news junkie. I was thinking about this last night when I was doing the show. Out in Galveston, when I was a kid, my dad would come home from work and sit down in the big chair and read the paper. It was just what happened. And, so I see that day after day after day after day. And as I got older, I started to read news and read the paper. And now I can't pass my phone without picking it up and looking at all of the great, glorious car wrecks around the world constantly happening. And I don't think that's necessarily healthy. It's just, something to think about. I was talking to my friend Julie earlier today about what should be done. Like it's like ministry of truth. No, that's a bad idea. We've thought about that sort of thing. There has to be some sort of way to do that, because there's this sort of a continual poisoning that's going on, and it creates bad things. Taking you. You broke your mind if you think that I'm gonna shoulder this boulder till the end of time. Now my dribbling, my brothers are dwindling. I just need a smoke, and you look like kindling. Well, big man needs somebody to tossing on his lamb onto the flame. Now you want me to burn, that's what we'll do. But if I'm going down, I'm taking you. single one of you. Oh, well, the big band needs somebody to play. Tossing on this lamb onto the flame. You want me to burn, that's what we'll do. But if I'm going down, I'm taking you. So it's a special day today. I mean, it's a special day every day, I guess, if you're thinking about it. If you have the opportunity to think about it, it's a special day. So I'm glad to share this special day with you, but it's also a special anniversary. So I'd like to share this with you. This is the anniversary, the debut of Patina Verdigris, the best that there will ever be. The voice of another time. Critics, darling, Broadway rage, obtuse of the Gilded Age. Songbird in an open cage, forever in her prime. Over 100 years ago, she took the stage, stole the show, Vienna to the Golden Gate. She packed the house 4 decades straight. Footlights burn, smoke would curl, sequins dance through strings of pearls. Her melodies would ache and whirl, always the band would play. With music like the poets wrote, the gift of life born from the throat. Truth confessed with every note. Patina Verdigris. She sang the classics, made them hers. Ancients went back, changed the words, influencing songs of birds. Patina Verdigris. Over 100 years ago, she took the stage, stole the show, Vienna to the Golden Gate. She packed the house 4 decades straight. Footlights burn, smoke would curl, sequins dance through strings of pearls. Her melodies would ache and whirl, and always the band would play. 2 shows every day. Now eventually she disappeared. That's where the history gets weird. The crowd dispersed, they finally cleared her name from the marquee. New critics deemed her sound passé. New acts where she used to play. Few have heard her name today. Patina Verdigris. No recordings of her exist. Still her memory persists. A little tarnished, yes, it fits. Patina Verdigris. But there's magic in that silence too. Imagine what that means for you, and you will hear her coming through. Patina Verdigris. Thank you very much. All these are new songs that are not yet recorded and they're not yet available. Although I do have a bunch of compact discs for sale for people who love antiques. Yeah, so they're still there. You can hold them in your hand. It's amazing. We even have a t-shirt. And remember last summer where you wore that same wool sweatshirt all summer long? Don't do that to yourself. Get a t-shirt. It's great. It's the best thing you could possibly do. Who is here with their crazy friend tonight? All right, it's not quite a 50%, but you know, it's a nice stab at honesty. I appreciate it. You know, so it's always good to know where that person's sitting. You know, you get them in your peripheral view just a little bit. Just it helps. You know, it just helps avoid some problems. What I wouldn't give to be the crazy one, always running round having all the fun, blazing through the stops, burning down the town. You know that I will catch you when you come down. You come in the room, it's like you don't care, stealing every eye, taking up the air. Oh, I'm mad to think I could catch up with you. Chasing tail is all that I can do. What I wouldn't give to be the crazy one, always running round having all the fun, blazing through the stops, burning down the town. You know that I will catch you when you come down. Every 100 years one of you comes around, and all the little poets try to pin you down. But just like the fire you got in your hair, you breeze on by, leaving nothing there. What I wouldn't give to be the crazy one, always running round having all the fun, blazing through the stops, burning down the town. You know that I will catch you when you come down. What I wouldn't give to be the crazy one, always running round having all the fun, blazing through the stops, burning down the town. You know that I will catch you when you come down. You know that I will catch you when you come down. Yes, I'll be here to catch you when you come down. So over the pandemic, I embraced the playing of the harmonica in the rig, something that I've avoided. You know, it just seemed like something that wasn't really, you know, just a little bit overdone, a little bit of stuff. And then I found myself isolated for 2 years and really wanted to play some harmonica, and so decided I'd try to do this. And I've got a lot of musicians that I'm really big fans of, like John Hammond. John Hammond was a great musician, and I wouldn't be on this stage right now if it wasn't for getting to see John Hammond when I was about 20 years old. And it just like, it changed. I was younger than that, actually. I think I was about like 19. And when I saw John Hammond play, I'd already been playing harmonica and guitar a little bit, but I saw him on stage and a little place called the Jazz House in Lawrence, Kansas. And I took a date with me, and it was $6 at the door, and I freaked out. $6? I can't do $6. And the guy at the door just like, if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. All right, fine. I went, and once the show started, I don't think I looked at my date once except to say, that's it. Whatever that is, I want to do that. You know, so here I am with the resonator guitar, harmonica, and a rig. Emphasis on the foot. So But the harmonica is a weird instrument. It's what they call a diatonic instrument. That means the reason why I have a whole bunch of them is they're all in different keys. Like this is a B flat. So if I blow through it, it makes a B flat chord. You got all the same notes, same 3 notes, the same major chord in B flat. But harmonica players like to torture themselves and try to get all the notes that aren't on the harmonica. You know, you can try to bend the notes and try to find all the different notes that are on the octave on a piano, which is really unmusical up until the point that it becomes musical again. Hopefully we've reached that point. We're going to find out in just a moment. You know, something has to be risked. I think that's an important part of all of this. Don't waste a moment on that one you left behind. Don't think for a second you just might change your mind. And things would be different if the whole wide world rewind. 'Cause you could say she's crazy now. It's not like you treated her any different than all the rest. Held for a moment and told you loved her best. Maybe she just felt it deeper inside the vest. 'Cause you could say she's crazy now. She's crazy now, used to spend every single sunrise. Sleep it off and get it on again. What could make a man so unwise to slander so good a friend? Keep your mind on what you have got. Don't waste your time on what you have not. Just count your blessings. You got off the first shot. And you could say she's crazy now. She's crazy now, used to spend every single sunrise. Sleep it off and get it on again. What could make a man so unwise to slander so good a friend? And if the end was just too much for her to bear, like air. After all, she saw things in you that simply were not there. And you could say she's crazy now. You could say she's crazy now. You could say she's crazy now. Thank you. I'd like to send this next song to everybody in the audience who is concealing a tattoo.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly, sir. Yeah, and I'm not talking about the one that you're like, oh yeah, you want to see it? No, that's not it. The tattoo. We're all talking about it. There's a chat room. We do it. I have a couple different tattoos. You know, I'm not ashamed of any of them. But I've certainly known people who try to get cover-ups or just try not to look at yourself in a mirror in that angle. You know, just try to avoid that. I mean, that's kind of an apt metaphor for the thing we're discussing here. But this is a song about a couple friends of mine in Kansas City and a little tattoo shop called Grimm's on Main Street, just up the road from the Grand Emporium, a great blues club I used to sneak into when I was old enough in Kansas City. So here's just some good, healthy, bad decisions. Jack's out walking because he's tired of talking. Knows he's got to get out soon. He jumps the chain link fence and he dances in the traffic to the shop where she bought her tattoo. Rose cries on my shoulder till my shirt's cold and damp. She says Jack is gonna take her apart. Never laid a hand on her. That's never been the case. But you know that he's bloodied her heart. We got dragons, daggers, tigers, roses, and hearts. Long-legged ladies, ships, skulls, and sharks. A gilt-edged scroll with anything you gotta say. And it will never go away. And it will never go away. She says, guy, just don't know what to do. Well, how can I love him this much and be sick of him too? I told him right to his face he could do what he wants to. She's tried every trick she knows just to keep him right up there to changing her skin. She's got a twist of thorns and a single red rose cut with a stainless steel pen. We got dragons, daggers, tigers, roses, and hearts. Long-legged ladies, ship skulls, and sharks. You know it's right below the belly so that no one else can see. So she'll be saving all the love for me. That's what he said. Saving all the love for me. says, guy, I just don't know what to do. How can I want her this much and still be sick of her too? I told her right to her face she could do what she wants to. Dragons, daggers, and that old Harley first. If they ever ask you, damn right it hurts. But the sting is the thing, that's what they say. And it will never go away. 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 And it will never, can't be lost or stolen. Now that's an older song. I wrote that shortly after moving from Kansas City to Austin, where I've been making my fortune in the music industry. That's right. Oh yes, oh yes. How much? There are people listening. I've got creditors. I can't. It wouldn't be prudent. There's time to discuss this. Hello, internet. Hello, internet. But really, what it's done more than anything else, certainly not a lot of money, but it's opened a lot of doors. I've gotten to go places that I wouldn't get to go otherwise, and it is a wonderful thing to get to travel playing music if you survive it, because you get to meet people, and people don't treat you like a tourist. You know, it's like they feel like, you know, you're bringing something. There's a connection there. Often at the end of the show, people just want to come up and like say, "Hey, great show," shake hands, like completing a circuit, you know, or you know, and it's nice, and so it really does open a lot of doors. I got to go to this really cool event. There was a gentleman who had a massive personal collection of things that he was looking for a way, like trying to find a museum or something like to house his amazing collection of things, like the drum kit that Ringo Starr played on the Ed Sullivan Show. You know, the guitar that Gilmore plays during Comfortably Numb, you know, on the recording. Just amazing things. A draft of the Constitution, like pieces of the Federalist Papers. Just amazing things, and also the original manuscript of Jack Kerouac's On the Road, which I had heard about this as just part of the legend behind it. It's on a roll of paper. He didn't want to have to stop and put another piece of paper into the typewriter. He got this teletype dispatch paper or something like that, and so he just read the whole thing, in one sitting or whatever. However it was that he did it, it's like one of the great books of American literature about going out and exploring and being on your own. Also written in his mom's basement when he was 40. So I mean, it's important to keep all of this in mind. But this is a song that I wrote for Jack Kerouac. At night, when I'm out riding along the dark highway, I get a feeling inside me, throw all that I have away. I leave all this behind me, like that job I had in the day. All the black dress and soul-testing lovers and liars, speeding tickets I never paid. Do you believe in love at first sight? As a matter of fact, I do. Every time that I open my eyes, that saying comes true. pressure washerwoman in a funeral hat, Italian ballerina on an asphalt stage, bleach blonde poet of the Victorian age. America, where goest thou in thy shiny car at night? Children of Jack, we will never turn back as we ride away in the light. Now if I were to take you by force and carry you away back to my bedroom just for music to play, and I play you the songs that I've written and the ones that I can't seem to write, maybe you'd know what you're missing. Maybe you'd stay past the night. America, where goest thou in thy shiny car at night? Children of Jack, we will never turn back as we ride away in the light. Oh, my father, he built me this backpack, just an inch or two big for real. I'll pack my guitar, the smoke from this bar, my songs, and one hot meal. And I'll ride to the west, chasing sunsets like gold. Dawn I will ride to the east. I'll find all the friends that I've lost on the road. Maybe then I'll know me some peace. America, where goest thou in thy shiny car at night? Jack, we will never turn back as we ride away in the light. Oh, there's so much more to this wonderful world than we are sold on TV. So tell me, if you are not already dead, you'll come and live it with me. Leave your college plans, your one-night stands, business clothes and the rest. Oh, there's pleasure enough in your heart and your hands. Blue jeans suit you best. America, where goest thou in thy shiny car at night? Children of Jack, we will never turn back as we ride away in the light. Children of Jack, we will never turn back as we ride away. All right, the part of America will be played by the banjo this evening. During the pandemic, I decided I should use the free time that I had, and I started to learn how to play the mandolin. Mandolin's tuned differently than the guitar. You use all different chord shapes and stuff like that, but it's still a stringed instrument, right? You know, it's still like there's a basic mechanical thing that's going on of plucking or playing a string. So I did that, and then that wasn't enough. I didn't feel like I'd punished my family enough, so ergo the banjo. So. I didn't write this song, but it makes me happy. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see trees of green, clouds of white, bright blessed day, dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Gee, but it's hard to love someone when that someone don't love you. I'm so disgusted, heartbroken too. I've got those downhearted blues. Once I was crazy about a gal, she mistreated me all the time. Next gal I get, she's got to promise me to be mine, all mine. Trouble, trouble, I've had it all my days. I said, now trouble, trouble, I've had it all my days. Oh, it seemed like trouble gonna follow me to my grave. Oh, I got the world in a jug, that stopper is in my hand. I got the world in a jug, that stopper is in my hand. I wanna hold on to it till you come under my command. Now I ain't never loved but 3 women in my life. I said I ain't never loved but 3 women in my life. That was my mama, my sister, that woman that wrecked my life. Now, it may be a week, baby, it may be a month or 2. I said it may be a week, maybe a month or 2. But the way you treat me, baby, it's coming back home to you. right, so this is a national mandolin, which is similar to the normal wooden mandolin, but instead of it being a box with strings on it, that the strings are taut, so it vibrates the front of the box. This one has the metal pie plate assembly, which is a cone on the inside, a piece of aluminum that's been spun on a lathe to make a speaker. But instead of that speaker being vibrated by electricity, like the ones that you're hearing my voice through, it uses the action of the strings to create that sound. I love these things. They are a particular dead end of technology that once electric guitars came around, it just stopped being relevant. But the guitar was initially what they would call a parlor instrument. You know, you could hear it if you were just sitting around with a couple of people, but once you got on a stage, it would stop being something that could be heard over, you know, a bunch of partying people, which is sort of the whole goal of this project. But this is a song that I wrote, and I wrote this song on January 6th, the same January 6th that you're thinking about. I was sitting in the backyard, not looking at my phone, and just, you know, playing the instrument and enjoying myself and trying to appeal to the best part of myself. And I wrote this song. And this is for my wife. But I guess it's also for all of us. I believe in you. I have seen your light, and I know this is true. The world hasn't seen the gifts you bring with you. What you'll do, I believe in you. My faith is strong. It has brought me here, and if the road gets long, I will have no fear as the night comes on. I'll sing your song. My faith is strong. Trouble seems to find a way to steal the colors from the day, the moment that the sky turns gray and fades. I wonder, did I miss the sign? Nowhere to go at closing time. Just rattle off another rhyme and leave it on the stage. But I believe in you. I heard 1,000 stories, they all came true. It's in the little things you always do. When you come through, I believe in you. There are different kinds of despair, the most common of them being where you just deny the whole affair, pretend it doesn't smart. That taste I had so long ago, I wonder, do I even know the reason why I had to go? The dictates of my heart, but I believe in you. I have seen your light, and I know this is true. The world hasn't seen the gifts you bring with you. What you'll do, I believe in you. Thank you. So I bought this national mandolin from my friend Steve James. If you're a fan of acoustic blues or just, you know, general badassness, you could check out Steve James. And I think there's a couple different ones on in music, but he's the one who plays these things. And this is a song that he wrote for everybody who has, you know, special plans for tonight. The officer tells you, son, you've been having too much fun. You say you're just messing around, but then it gives you a ride downtown. They offer you a personal bond, but you don't stand a chance, 'cause it's all just talk. Don't believe you're gonna walk till they give you back your wallet and your pants. 'Cause it's Saturday night in jail, no one to go your bail. You call your friends on the telephone, you leave a message when you hear the tone. And if you ever get back outside, you're never gonna take that ride, 'cause you've been down here before, but you ain't coming back no more. Now this jailhouse sure is a pain, but you ought to not complain. Those boys in Section 9, they're doing serious time. You won't get that much sleep, and when they give you something to eat, you look down in the bag, oh buddy, what a drag. You wishing you were back out on the street. It's Saturday night in jail, no one to go your bail. You call your friends on the telephone, you leave a message when you hear that tone. And if you ever get back outside, well, you're never gonna take that ride, 'cause you've been down here before, and you ain't coming back no more. So I got to write songs with my friend Brian Keene. I went to Nashville to go write with him, where he was living at the time. And really good songwriter, really great guy. And we were writing songs in the Nashville style, which means you don't have to have anything to say to write a song. You just need a number 2 pencil, legal pad, suppressed gag reflex. Get some work done. It's not bad. And we did just that. We cranked out some songs for 3 days. Drank, a pound of coffee beans, and wrote some songs. And those songs all rhymed. They had parts. Ooh, here's a verse, here's a chorus, here's a verse, and felt like we showed up. I mean, we showed up for work, and we did the thing. We threw the line in and waited and we got some things that rhymed, very proud of ourselves. Sometimes that's just, like the showing up is half the work, right? Because inspiration is great, but inspiration, as I've heard it said, is for amateurs. It's great to know when, oh, it came to me in a dream. Also has happened to me. I've written songs in my sleep, not a whole lot, but such a thing can happen. And then on the last day, we were working on Brian's car so it would run so I could get back home. And I got a telephone call, and it was bad news from my friend Kerry Wallum about a musician by the name of Stephen Bruton. You may know who I'm talking about. Stephen Bruton, they call him the Fort Worth Panther. Great guitar player. Even if you don't know the person I'm talking about, I'm sure you've heard his music, because when you hear those old Chris Christopherson recordings or Bonnie Raitt recordings, he's the other guitar player on those, and he was just amazing. He was a musician that made other people play better. His stink eye would make you play better. It was great. He was a total stand for excellence in no matter what you were doing. Perhaps you know this other musician by the name of John D. Graham. He's one of my favorite songwriters too. John D. Graham is what you would call, and what I consider myself, sort of like a folk musician, a blues musician, like learned by ear as opposed to through diligent application of study and theory. And so they were playing together on stage in a group called the Resentments that play on Sunday nights in Austin. And they were playing a particularly complicated piece of music. And one of the things about this band is they never, ever, ever, ever rehearsed. They just got up on stage and played together. They were just that kind of musician. And this one complicated song with all these different changes is going on. And John D. Graham is playing a lap steel, and he's just not quite sure what to do, and Stephen Bruton's like, play something. So he just like grabs one note and plays it all the way through the changes, and it's great. Stephen Bruton just, yeah. He was an inspiration in that sort of way. And then he got sick, and then he beat it back for a while and had a fabulous third act and got a lot of the accolades that people deserve to get when they're still living. But this was a bad news call. And so I got off the phone and I told my friend Brian, and we both looked at each other and we put down the tools we were working on his car with, and we picked up the guitar and we wrote this song, and it only took us about 15 minutes. It just seemed like it was just right there. And it's not usually that easy, but sometimes it is if you're paying attention, if you have the wherewithal to stop, even if you are doing something that you need to do. Sometimes that inspiration does come to you, and if you pay attention, you might find something. I only want the things that matter. I only want things that you can share. Don't give me diamond rings, all those so-called finer things. They don't matter when they are not there. I don't need more clothes if I'm not freezing. I don't want a love that I can't feel. I can't use a pretty lie just to help me pass my time. Love only matters when it's real. I only want the things that matter. I only want things that you can share. Don't give me diamond rings, all those so-called finer things. They don't matter when they are not there. Now I met a man who made $1 million, chased him away, and now he sits and watches lovers pass him by. I only want the things that matter. I only want things that you can share. Don't give me diamond rings, all those so-called finer things. They don't matter when they are not there. So I gave my girl a watch that shined with diamonds, the prettiest watch you would ever find. She left it in the drawer when she walked right out my door. Turns out all she needed was my time. I only want the things that matter. Only want things that you can share. Don't give me diamond rings, all those so-called finer things. They don't matter when they are not there. Now I know you can tell I'm not a rich man. Expect you know that I'm not a rich man's son. But you should run and play and gather roses while you may. Can't buy your time back when it's done. I only want the things that matter. I only want things that you can share. Don't give me diamond rings, all those so-called finer things. They don't matter when they are not there. Oh, they don't matter when they are not there. I got to do something really cool a couple years back. I got to go to the Smithsonian Aerospace Museum. Not the dinky little one that's on the mall, but the really big one that's out by the airstrip. And I was there for a special event, a celebration of 100 years of Coast Guard aviation, where they installed the HH-52A helicopter that my stepdad flew. They have some options when they're picking vehicles like that, and there's a story here. My stepdad was younger than I am now. On the last day of his service in the Coast Guard, he was awoken at 5 o'clock in the morning. He was in the ready room, the ready area, right next to the field, so he pulled on his orange jumpsuit, and he, with co-pilot Kilgore and another seaman, rushed out to the HH-52A, where the blades were already spinning. And it was 5 o'clock in the morning, but you could still see the glow of the two ships that had collided in the Houston Ship Channel. The Burma Agate was struck by the Mimosa, and the Mimosa was a tanker that spilled fuel oil onto the Burma Agate. The Burma Agate was a freighter, and was moored at that time, or at anchor, and both ships were ablaze. JC and Kilgore quickly go through the pre-flight checklist and realize the altimeter isn't working, something you really want on your helicopter if you're flying over the water at night. But my stepdad knew it. He knew the regs. He made the call. And so they took off, and off they go. So the Burma Agate, which was, I think, flagged in the Philippines, had only 2 survivors. People had either been killed in the initial collision, explosion, and fire, or they jumped overboard, and then they were in burning fuel oil in the water. And so there were only 2 people left alive on the ship. They were all the way on the very aft of the ship, standing on the rail because the fires below deck had made it impossible to stand on the rail. These 2 people were friends, and one of them could swim, and the other one couldn't. So they waited, and they waited to the last possible second. And at the last possible second, a basket is lowered from heaven. They grab that. You get a shock of about 10,000 volts, I think, when that happens, of static electricity. That's okay. You're getting off the boat anyway. And they get pulled up into the helicopter. The helicopter's rated to carry 10 people. Now it has 5 people in it. There's the 2 people they've just rescued. There's the pilot, JC, and then Kilgore. The pilot. Then there's a crewman who's running the winch. And they go off chasing the other ship. The other ship, the tanker, is still under power, but it's now cruising in irregular circles because the wheelhouse has been consumed by flame. And there's still some survivors, but they're all clustered underneath an overhang of the superstructure. And so JC describes this. He's in the right-hand seat, and having to sight on the ship, they have to keep the tail downwind in the strong wind that's going on, and fire is billowing hundreds of feet into the air. So he has to maintain the relative position of the helicopter, then swing the basket, and then maintain that position as the ship continues to move in irregular patterns. He's able to sight on the ship at times, but then he has to hand over control to Kilgore, who takes over control and maintains the position. And they do this for a while. They start bringing people up. And JC describes, he's hiding on the ship, and he looks around, and then there's somebody sitting on, basically sitting right in between them at that point. The helicopter is full. It's rated to carry 10 people, has 12 people in it. They peel off from the burning wreck and instantly start to lose altitude because they're no longer being billowed up by the hot air from the fire. They have to sell off their altitude to get to the closest drilling platform. He describes just basically skimming over the water at a certain point, trying to get to the platform and just inching it up. They finally get up to about 300 feet, and that was enough to get to the platform. They saved 23 people that day. So my mom and my stepdad squandered my inheritance by working with the Red Cross. They did a lot of cooking out. So they're just that kind of people. And I wrote this song when we had a bunch of floods a little while back, and I'd like to send this out to first responders everywhere. When the flood came back, we did it all again. Every man a brother, had your back, was a friend. We stood side by side on the banks and filled the bags till morning. Then the sun came up, we laughed like fools, swore we'd do it again with worn out tools. But the flood came back, I guess you couldn't say without warning. Johnny was a true blue cowboy fan. He had his weight in the shovel, had his faith in the man. Can't understand God's plan today. I mean, he hung it all from the weather vane down, cut back the cedar, he leveled the ground. But now he's found his command washed away. Oh, there's no mercy in this land. Disappear without me. My folks, their hopes and dreams, just cigarettes and gasoline around me. Oh, understand. But here I am. Here I am. And when the flood come back, we'll do it all again. When the flood come back, we'll do it all again. And when the flood come back, we'll do it all again. And when the flood come back, we'll do it all again. Now, long time before your time came that divine word. Spoke the truth to a chosen few, was the best thing ever heard. You know, I've known from the get-go, my daddy told me so. Now, my book's better than your book, don't you know? Now, he is my heavenly father. He told me you were wrong. He told me he was a he, taught me to sing this song. I know where I'm going, I'm gonna own that promised land now. My book's better than that book in your hand. Now I don't know why that you were forgotten. Something inside you must be broke. Probably taking his name in vain, been too proud when you spoke. You got up above your raising and held your head too high. Well, my book's better than your book, and that's no lie. 'Cause my book teaches love and acceptance. Mine says turn your cheek. Mine says that he's a shepherd here to help the weak. And I'm sorry to say this bluntly, but look me in the eye now. My book's better than your book, and that's no lie. Oh, my book's better than your book. My book's better than your book. My book's better than your book, that's no lie. Now I know that I was chosen to be his flaming sword, cleanse the world of strife and sin and what offends my Lord. I will get my blessing, have my place at his right hand. Well, my book's better than your book, you never understand. Because my book is the book of love, all things bright and pure. My book is the only way to make sure your soul's secure, given so that all men might make their way to him. My book's better than your book. My book's better than your book. My book's better than your book, and it's looking grim. Gets hot round here, deep in the summertime. You just sink into the street. Nothing moves without sign. Make a man feel crazy. For some shade, cold bottle of wine. But I got a job to do, you know I gotta make my rent. Lucky to have it too. That money's already spent. Just need a little something heaven sent. I'll be fine. I need a cool breeze to blow through. I need a cool breeze like you. Yeah, you do. You're like that moment when that summer sun goes down, sits into the sea. I say let that damn thing drown. Feels so much better when it's not around in the night. Can't blame that baby for crying when she needs her rest. Can't blame mama for that baby at her breast. Can't blame a man for trying to do his best to be alright. I need a cool breeze to blow through. I need a cool breeze like you. Yes, you do. Like a drink of water after working in the sun. You're my reward for the dirty things I've done. You make me a rich man when you tell me I'm the one. Promised, just like that poet said. Cool cotton, silk, satin waiting in my bed. One little touch from you keeps that crazy in my head. I'll be alright. I need a cool breeze to blow through. I need a cool like you, yeah you do. I need a cool breeze. I need a cool breeze. I need a cool breeze. I need a cool If I was second, I couldn't get well. Could you let that be? If I was second, I couldn't get well. Would you need to be free? If I was second, I couldn't get well. If you looked in my eyes and you could tell I was second, I couldn't get. Would you wait with me? Would you wait with me? If I was high and I couldn't come down, would you give me your hand? If I was high and I couldn't come down, could you watch your man crash land? was high and I couldn't come down. Wings made of needles pinned to the ground. I was high and I couldn't come. Would you take a stand? Would you take a stand? Don't abandon me here beneath this crowd. Darling, I need for you to understand, but I can't talk right now. This is where we find ourselves, where the indifference ends. Dreams, nightmares, neatly sheltered, alone among friends. If you were sick and you couldn't get well, tell you what I'd do. You were sick and you couldn't get well. Never ask if you're true. You were sick and you couldn't get well. I would hold you forever, or at least until. If you were sick and you couldn't get, I will wait with you. I will wait with you. I will wait with you. I will wait. So I have another friend who was in the midst of a severe health scare, and she asked me to write a song for her daughter. And I have a daughter. I've got two, actually. So I felt like I had something to say, but she wanted it. It was stuff that she wanted to say to her daughter. And so I worked with her on this, and I wrote a song. This is called Sydney Jane. Sydney Jane, when you came, we were tied together. The doctor snipped the cord. You tumbled into our world. Sydney Jane, all the same, we are still connected with an invisible string, and that means everything. It may seem like a dream, but this bond is unaffected by time, by space, by the world's busy pace. If your day goes sideways, take that string, hold on to it. You will find the beat, get you back on your feet. Sydney Jane. Sydney Jane, that's your name, but we also named you Tsunami. So rock and roll, outside of man's control. Like the tide, You abide where you belong already, never standing still, going where you will. You have everything you need inside of you. I am in here too, holding you. Sydney Jane, to say it plain, you're a force of nature, earth and moon allied. It cannot be denied. Sydney Jane, when you came, we were tied together with an invisible string, and that means everything. Sydney Jane. Yeah, so I started my career as a street musician. I've been working my way up. And when I had just turned 21 years old, my dad gave me a ticket to Europe. He was in the travel business. He worked for TWA for years, and then he left TWA and he worked for a cruise company called Sitmar for a while. And then he figured he knew enough about the industry to start his own business. So he started a business called Travel Library out of his garage, out of our garage, as a matter of fact, in California. Had a big house. We sold the house, got a little house and a big garage. And he sold travel books and maps and Berlitz guides and things like that to travel agents who were putting together a tour, like a package deal. So he knew that he could sell, say, 20 copies of the same French Berlitz guide or something like that to a group, like 20 people going on a trip. So he found a niche and he filled it, and he did that job for a long time. And I grew up working in the garage, and then eventually got a storefront, and I would work there and filling jiffy bags with orders of maps and looking at guidebooks of different places around the world. So I was very excited to get a chance to travel. So when I turned 21, he gave me a ticket to Europe and a rail pass for 2 months. And it was great. I took a battery-powered amplifier and a guitar in a backpack, and I traveled around and busked my way around Europe, which was a fabulous thing, getting to see Berlin started in London, went to Wales, there was a wedding of friends of the family there, and Paris, Berlin. I got in a knife fight in Vienna. It was a very casual knife fight. It was with a junkie. He had to unscrew the knife in order to put it together. It was kind of a weird situation all around. There's another story about that. We'll go into that later. There's a different song entirely. But and I was in Amsterdam, and I was crossing underneath the Rijksmuseum, this big, amazing museum, which is where a lot of the Dutch masters' work hangs, like Rembrandt's The Night Watch, the girl with the pearl earring. It's a great, great museum, great, wonderful place. But underneath it, there's these arched brick, a passageway underneath, and it is acoustically fantastic. And so I'm passing underneath it, and I hear this ethereal sound, and I follow it, and I find a guy playing the musical saw. And I had never seen this. I had heard of it before, but I'd never seen it. And I was very excited, and just like wanted to watch and check out what he was doing. And it made a big impression on me, but I didn't necessarily think of it as something that I could do until I met a percussionist that used to play with the 13th Floor Elevators, the first psychedelic band, Thank You, Texas, because it was the guys over at UT who synthesized acid, and they ended up moving out to California. But before they did, they started a certain movement, like with the specifically the band, the 13th Floor Elevators. And he played saw, and he came and sat in with my band, the Asylum Street Spankers, and Olivier Giraud. Oh yeah, thank you very much. we're trying to put together a spanker reunion. We'll let everybody know. So he taught himself how to play the saw while I was sitting next to him. So I figured, oh, that can't be that hard. I mean, he's French. So, it can't be that hard. So I got myself one. And, oh no. Like this, send this song out to my daughters. Summertime and living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Where your dad is rich and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Well, one of these mornings you gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings, you take to the sky. But till that day, there ain't nothing gonna harm you. Not with Daddy and Mammy standing by. Well, one of these mornings, you gonna rise up, you gonna rise up, you gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings, you take to the sky. till that day, there ain't nothing gonna harm you. Not with Daddy and Mammy standing by. Just standing by. Just standing by. Just standing by. Well, I'm going to do one more song. I want to thank you very much for coming out and doing and enjoying. Oh, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope so. I did. So I hope you did too. It was all right. Not so bad. Not so bad. I was drinking. It was fine. So thank you very much for being here. Remember to tip your bartenders, tip your waitresses, and also, coming up on the 23rd, my wife Jessica will be here for the late show, bringing her own band. So I hope you all come out. This is, I'm definitely giving my best possible endorsement for that show on the 23rd. It's the late show, so please put it on your calendar and come out and see Jessica and the Vanity Project. So, come on out. Always love getting to play here at the Duck. I want to thank the whole staff here. They do such a great job taking care of us, and I really appreciate it. At 9 a.m. I was 105, and I started looking for a place to hide. Well, I went down to the edge of town, right down to the riverside. Well, I got down to the riverside, and there was a man in a coat and tie, even though it was 105. Behind a brand new 10-foot barbed wire fence, his attorney by his side. And he said, this river is spoken for. This river is spoken for. This river don't belong to you no more. Well, I went back to my own neighborhood. Was a hole in the ground where my house once stood. A 10-ton truck, a jackhammer crew, and a pile of splintered wood. And so enough, right there he stood. That man in a coat and tie was 105. And he said, on these remains, we're going to build 10 lanes, a big box on each side. And he said, this land is spoken for. This land is spoken for. This land don't belong to you no more. a.m. was 110. And I didn't want to see that man again, so I curled up and died. And when I got to St. Peter's gates, guess who was by his side? That man in a coat and tie. There was a padlock on the promised land and a wad of cash in St. Peter's hand as he waved goodbye. And he said, your wings are spoken for, your wings are spoken for, you don't belong anymore. So I turned around and I went back down where the river drained through a hole in the ground. I got my own little pyre on the lake of fire, at least I can call it mine. 9 a.m. was 199. Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Guy Forsyth. You can find out more about me at guyforsyth.com.